Debbie, it's all yours.
Okay, welcome everybody to our Arts and Cultural Hamentaschen baking session with Susan Gross. And I can personally attest to Susan Gross's delicious Hamentaschen in those years, if we can remember them, when we used to assemble in the sanctuary for Megillah reading. Susan often came laden with little plastic baggies of her delicious Hamentaschen. To tell you a little more about Susan, this is her second culinary arts Zoom for the Arts and Cultural Committee this year. Susan has been a member of the Jewish Center for 44 years, where her 5 children and 3 of her grandchildren all celebrated their B'nai Mitzvah. She is still awaiting her award from TJC for being the parent who carpooled for the longest number of years, from 1976 to 2001. And I just think that's astounding. Yes, 25 years. Susan doesn't know who wrote the blurb in the email about this Zoom session that describes her as being renowned for her culinary skills. It gave her a good laugh, recalling that in the early years of her marriage, when her husband did 99% of the cooking, her idea of haute cuisine was throwing a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup over whatever food substance was being served. Yum. The pandemic has caused her to spend even more time in the kitchen, and she finally learned to bake challah. She appreciates the guidance and patience she received from her granddaughters Hadass, Noah, Neely, and Tirsa in helping her remedy a disgraceful weakness in her baking repertoire. I find that shocking, frankly. Every year, Susan promises herself that she will not be once again out of control with the number of Hamentaschen she bakes. And every year she fails miserably. This year will be no different, but she hopes and prays that all the Hamentaschen will be eaten well before the final stages of pre-Pesach cleanup.
Okay, so I guess I can take it away.
Absolutely. And are you still going to be assisted by Jonathan?
I'm going to play that by ear. We'll see. He's over there awaiting assignment. When I snap my fingers, he will jump the way he always does. But okay. First of all, in interest of full disclosure, the way I do Hamentaschen tends to be labor intensive. At first, when I started doing this, now I can't see anybody who did that. Okay. Okay. So when I first started doing this, I was traumatized. It took so long, but once you try to do it a week or so ahead of time, I make all the fillings. I make one filling one day, another filling 2 days later. Another thing that, came to my attention is, people will be thinking, oh my gosh, this is, so much, or are there any kind of shortcuts? And I have never used, we're going to do a little experimenting tonight because I have never used fruit jams, but I kind of Googled, quick and easy ways to make Hamentaschen filling, and they suggested thick jams. So we're going to try it tonight together. And we'll use my jams, and we will use Bon Maman jams. So that's one thing. Another thing, I'm experimenting with you guys tonight is, for years I just did fruit fillings, regular dough fruit filling. And what happened was everybody was saying chocolate, must have chocolate. So a couple of years ago, I started with a chocolate cherry Hamentaschen, and that isn't enough chocolate. So we're also going to try a chocolate filling, which isn't Nutella, but is really decadent, but we'll give it a try. So the other thing I want you to know is that this presentation is going to be kind of like current fiction, where books start at the end and go to the middle and then get back to the beginning at the end of the book. So what I want to do now in the interest of getting some baking going is I already have some Hamentaschen circles cut out. They're brushed with egg white, and I'm going to quickly, fill them with the different fillings and get them baking so we can see what happens. So now,
Susan, I wanted to remind people that everybody got attached to the email with the Zoom link, all of the recipes that Susan's going to be talking about. So she didn't expect anybody to cook along with her because it's too labor intensive, but the recipes will be there and you can easily print them.
And I also want to add, there's a comment from Jessica Dickler to everyone. Susan, love your apron.
one of my granddaughters every spring goes on a, what is this, tie-dyeing extravaganza. So she made me this. So here's a couple of prune filling ones. And we're going to make apricot filling in a minute, so I can show you how to do that. Then we'll do some of, this is cherry. I know it looks dark, but it really is cherry. And we're going to put that in the on the chocolate dough. And
So is that about 2 teaspoons on each one?
kind of, yeah, maybe, a healthy teaspoon. All right, let's see what's going to happen with, this is apricot jam. What should I put? I'll put that on a regular one. And then we'll try cherry jam.
Also, Susan, are they roughly three-inch rounds?
I'm sorry, what?
Are they roughly 3-inch rounds?
These are 2-inch rounds. A lot of people like larger Hamentaschen, but I like these little ones because that way you can eat a lot and not feel like you're eating a lot, right? That's how I justify that. Okay, what else do I have? I've used all. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and quickly fill the rest of these up and then pinch them and put more of the egg wash on them. And I'm running out of spoons.
Do we have a designated egg wash guy there?
Yeah, no, yeah, I might put Jonathan to egg wash duty.
Good job.
He's sitting here waiting to jump. He's sitting there waiting to jump. Okay, and another prune. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to pinch them and we will have Jonathan do the egg whites. And then, can you see what I'm doing, guys? Is that better?
You will be able to see the pinching.
Can you see the pinching?
Yeah,
Now we can.
if you stand right there.
Okay. I want to see how these jelly ones turn out because I've never, the first time I made Hamentaschen years ago, I must have made them with jelly. It was terrible. The jelly leaked everywhere. And I don't think I tried it again for another decade. I may have put a little bit too much jelly on these ones. We'll see.
If you have questions for Susan, please put them in the chat and we'll convey them to her. Heidi is asking, how many Hamentaschen do you bake each year?
I don't know, probably could be 200. I don't know. It's a lot. One time I tried to count and I lost count. I put too much jelly in these, so they may not be as gorgeous as what people are used to, but All right, now we're gonna set Jonathan to work putting on egg wash, which is just an egg and a little bit of water. And this is what he'll be doing. Do you remember, Jonathan, how to do this? It's
Yes.
one nice thing about Hamentaschen is it's a really kid-friendly activity. The kids love to do the paintbrush. All right, so that's, getting the Hamentaschen ready. Now what I want to show you is one of the fillings. I'm not going to do all of the fillings, but what I have here is this. It looks terrible. It looks like tomato and celery, doesn't it?
Looks like strawberries and apples.
Yeah. What it is are beautiful. It's gorgeous. Yeah, no, it looks terrible. This is apricot and raisins, and as you can see, it's glop. And I'm about to put it in the food processor and make a lot of noise. In the recipe, I don't know if anyone's going to actually try to do this, but if you do, please get California apricots. You have to order them online, or I think that Trader Joe's has them, but the Turkish apricots really are, I mean, this stuff is so good. It's just exquisite. And I want to show you pulsing it because you want it to get to the right consistency.
Okay, so Susan, you may not know exactly how many you make every year, but the real question from Jane LaGrange is, how many do you actually eat every year?
We can, how many we can what?
How many do you actually eat a year?
Oh, I don't want to know.
And how did you prepare the glop?
The glop, okay, the glop is 3 cups of apricot, 1 cup of white raisins, 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Then I think it says in the recipe like a 1/2 cup to 1 cup of orange juice, but I went through a lot of orange juice. This is at least 1.5 cups I've used so far, and I may use even more. I have to scrape it because this stuff is so good.
So is it dried apricots that you're using? Elaine Isaacs wants to know.
Yes, dried apricots.
Do you have to chop them in advance, or you just let the food processor take care of it for you?
I let the food processor take care of it, and no, I don't chop them. I just cook them. So let's see what happens when the other thing Jonathan wants me to add is to make it really good. This is good stuff to throw in it. Apricot brandy, yum. And then if you want, you can put a little in a glass, and it makes Hamentaschen baking really very pleasant. So, I'm going to pulse this. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to check this now for consistency. I think I'm going to want to add a little more liquid to this. It's pretty good. It may be just fine, but I definitely want it smoother. Right now I can still see pieces of tomato and celery, or I mean apricot and raisin, but I know on the, yeah, it still looks like tomato and celery, doesn't it?
Susan, Denise is asking, why do you use the egg white on the Hamentaschen? What does it do?
What does it do? I guess Jay knows better than I do. It browns it nicely. Putting egg wash on the baked goods.
And do you know if there's a website that you could use to buy the apricots online? That's from Beverly.
Yeah, I will get that. I will get the information down in a second.
Okay, Jay, our other baker, renowned, wants to tell everybody that the egg wash gives it a nice shine and color.
Thank you, Jay. Okay, so this, let's see what it looks like now. Looks terrible, doesn't it? Yuck.
Yeah.
It's hard. Can you see how hard it looks? Horrible. But it's this really exquisite bright orange apricot color. But I'm going to want to play with this a little more after we're done. And I don't know how many people want to sit around and watch me pulse this on and off and on and off. But it's not quite right yet, and it needs to be.
Judy Leopold has a message for everybody. The Trader Joe's usually has the California apricots.
Yes, Judy, my daughter went there. I sent her scouting out the Trader Joe's situation. Evidently, right now they don't have the usual California apricot, but it sounds like it's okay. It's called the California slab.
California slab.
Yeah, and I think that those are fine, but I'll show you what I did. Okay, I'm gonna put that aside because I have to work with that some more. Okay, Jonathan is really concerned. I did tell them about the apricot brandy. Yes, I put it in when we were cooking. Excuse this marital strife here. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'll do it later. Back to other Hamentaschen fillings. I made these. This is a chocolate ganache that I meant to put into the into one of the doughs, and I forgot because everybody is saying more chocolate, more chocolate, more chocolate. So I'm gonna all this is melted semi-sweet chocolate and cream, and it's really evil and good. So maybe we'll try that.
And Sherry Meyer is adding that her mother and grandmother used to make an orange juice, orange zest boosted dough. And she was thinking of adding candied ginger, tiny specks, or cardamom. Have you ever played with the crust much in terms of ingredients?
No, but Sherry, I want to do that. That sounds amazing. Okay, Sherry, I don't see you here because all I see is me. But we need to talk, Sherry.
We're gonna need a bake-off.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, Sherry. I'm really psyched. Okay, so now let's make the dough. So here I have butter, room temperature butter, sugar, and Crisco. I know Crisco is kind of evil stuff. It's all saturated fat, but I only use it this time of year, and so that's that. Okay, so I don't think you can see this too well, but what? Yeah. All right, here we go. I'll stop here and there. I'm creaming the butter and the Crisco and the sugar to get it just right.
How come your machines are so quiet?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question.
Yeah, it's listening before with the Cuisinart, I didn't hear anything, and now with this, I hardly hear anything.
Really? You don't hear
Yeah, no, I
it?
put
Don't
the
hear
sounds
it.
off. I didn't.
No, it's quiet.
It's noisy.
Maybe the Zoom adjusts for it or something somehow.
This should be, soft and fluffy. I'm going to do it a little bit more. Okay. And, oh, hold on, guys. Jonathan, you should have told me, Jonathan, that you were done. Okay, so Jonathan has put egg wash on those, and we'll get these in the oven. And set the timer for, let's try 12 minutes and see what they look like. Okay. So I was going to show you the nice, light, fluffy.
Susan, what's the dough hook you're using?
What's the what?
The dough hook, which one is that? Which piece?
It's not the dough hook that you use for
It's
bread.
the one that looks like so with,
Yeah, it's just whatever you use for baking for the cuisine, for the KitchenAid. So here's the butter and the cream. Oh, thank you, Jay. Paddle, it's the paddle.
Paddles.
Okay, and now what are we gonna do now? We're gonna mix in, oh, okay, the eggs. The eggs come next.
Susan, can you move it so that we can move the bowl and the whole thing so we can see? Yeah, right, move that.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm excited thinking about that cardamom dough. That sounds great. Do this some more. This looks terrific. Show you this. So this is with the egg, whoops. That's the eggs, the sugar, the butter. And so now I'm going to put in the orange juice. Okay, so another thing is a lot of people, like to make stuff, the Hamentaschen parve. I guess if you want to make it parve, you can try Earth Balance. I haven't done it because I like butter, but that's. I thought I had orange juice out. Okay. I do?
It's there, but still.
Oh, okay. Here's my orange juice. Okay, so I added the vanilla and now the orange juice. You can also use milk. Now I'll start to add the flour. Down a little.
Hi, Grandma.
Who is it? I can't see. Tell
It's
me.
Tirza.
Thank
It's Tirza. Hi. Sorry, I came on late. So just saying hi. So you know I'm here.
I'm glad you're here, honey. Thank you.
Okie doke. Love you. I'll go on mute now. Sorry, everybody.
Thanks for checking in.
Now we need the other 8. Oh, no, that's, or the other 12, I'm sorry.
Right, okay, and we'll add some more. I think we'll just put the rest of the flour in now. Now, every time I do this, it's a little different. And right now this dough is still a little slurpy. So I'm going to just add more flour. It's a very forgiving dough, which
Okay,
is,
this is an important message that now so far 2 grandchildren have watched. Abby watched the first half hour.
oh,
Just so
okay.
you know.
That's all she could take was a half in the first half hour? No. That was enough. All right, I'm gonna go get some more flour. I just want to put a little more in. I'll be right back.
Should I entertain later on?
No.
I didn't think so.
Based on what with the consistency are you adding more flour?
One more time, I'm
Based
sorry.
on what with the consistency are you adding more flour?
Because it looks like when I turn this out, it's just a little too,
Okay.
I want a little more flour. Okay, I'm just,
Martha wants to know if you're using regular baking flour or King Arthur flour.
I am using like King Arthur regular all-purpose flour.
What is it about King Arthur that makes it special?
I think it's organic.
Is
Yeah,
it organic?
I don't know if they do 2 kinds, one that's organic and one that isn't organic, actually. Okay. Okay, I think this is good. Now let me go get my sheet here.
For the record also, Roberta Sternthal is saying that they also make a bread flour and
Yes.
they also do a lot of gluten-free.
Yeah, I don't know anything about gluten-free Hamentaschen though. All right, so here comes the dough. You guys can see, okay. I'm gonna scrape this down. Good enough for now. So here's the dough. I'm going to turn it. Let me get the this out of the way and pull this over. Good. Okay, so as you'll see, this dough is really kind of loose, and it has to be put into the refrigerator to chill, or you can freeze it. I've got a bunch of these already made in the freezer now. So what I'm going to do with this is divide it into 2 and get it ready to freeze. And then I have some more dough sitting in the refrigerator that we can just quickly do a roll it out. So I'm going to flour my hands a little bit so that it doesn't stick. So you can see it's a very loose kind of dough, but it's really pretty easy to work with once it's cold.
So Jay's comment on King Arthur is that they don't bleach their flour and they're very good at their branding.
Oh, so you're okay.
Hey, a lot to be said for that.
Good marketing is always a skill.
Yeah. They have a great website with lots of wonderful recipes. So I'm dividing this in 2 and and kind of patting it down into rounds. And then I'm just gonna store these, and I will get other ones out of the freezer. I should have put, okay, I made a mess, guys. I should have done it like this on the wax paper. One. Another one. These I'm just gonna put in the freezer, and you know, when I start serious baking on Sunday, they'll be ready to go.
You leave them out flat when you freeze them?
I'm sorry,
You keep them, do you leave them out flat when you freeze them?
yes, because that way it's easy to just roll out when you're done. So I'll get to those later. And
And
now
so
I'm
how
gonna
many, how many Hamentaschen will each of those recipes make?
I make 2-inch ones. I would say that one recipe should make maybe about 36 of the 2-inch ones. Okay, so there goes the timer, which means I'm gonna go check on the Hamentaschen.
And Jonathan?
Well, okay, well, this just goes to show you guys. I'm gonna give you this a couple more minutes. But I'm not having luck with those jelly. Remember, I wanted to try to show you shortcuts by using jelly. The jelly is melting and the preserves are melting. So I'm not happy with those. So we'll see. Okay, so let me get out. I just want to wipe this down before I start rolling out other rounds. Okay. So I'm going to add more flour to this board. And I'm going to get so this is dough that I made previously and have defrosted. And just to briefly show you rolling out the dough.
Are there other types of cookies that you make that you could use the same dough recipe for?
Probably, but you know, I haven't done that with this dough. I've just made Hamentaschen with this dough.
Okay.
Now, when I was getting this set up, I was constantly panicked that I would lose my cookie cutter, but it's here, thank goodness. So I'm just sprinkling a little flour on the dough.
Okay, so Beverly wants to know, for how long do you defrost the frozen dough in the fridge before you can roll it?
I will get to that, but my Hamentaschen are beeping. And if I forget, remind me. All right, these are done. So here is why I don't use jelly, guys. So
Yeah, but I bet they taste just as good.
oh, they're ugly. See, look at this, what a mess. Here's Susan's lovely prune filling, lovely cherry filling, apricot preserves. Okay, anything that had the preserves in it melted and was messy. So I don't know if, it's a wonderful shortcut, but it's a mess. But these will taste good. I'm gonna let them cool and then we'll let Jonathan taste some.
Another job for you, Jonathan.
Okay. So we'll put some.
Joshua Forgy?
Yes, he's my grandson-in-law, but
Okay.
it's probably my granddaughter. Yes, please put them in.
Okay, so Sherry Meyer wants to know, after you make them, do you keep them in a Tupperware sealed or do you put them in the refrigerator on a covered plate? And how long should they stay fresh for?
They last forever. I do both. I freeze them. In a Tupperware container, they last, if they don't get eaten, they can last a good week.
Okay, now Denise is commenting, and I think she's
Yeah.
speaking for everyone here,
Yeah.
that she'll take them off your hands if you have no plans for them.
Yeah, they're, you can have them, Denise. The jelly messes, yeah, they're yours. You own them.
Roberta says that Solo makes an apricot filling in a can, that maybe that would work better.
The apricot fill, okay, well, see, here's where I show my real snob qualities. Here, the prune stuff in the can, the Lecfar that you can get with the pie fillings, that's pretty good. But, I mean, this stuff is just amazing. Now, wait, you can't see what I'm doing, can you?
Actually, we can.
We can.
Yeah, no, okay, now it's perfect.
That's fine. That's better.
All right, so here's my rounds. I'm just going to keep cutting these out. And then after I'm done this one, we'll do some chocolate. Now see, this is got a little soft. You have to get a feel for the dough and keeping it.
So Nancy Osborne wants to know, if you don't have a cookie cutter, can you just use a glass?
Sure.
And how thick do they get rolled to?
This looks like between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. If it's too thin, it's hard to handle. Now, one question is, you're ending up with all these little ends, which you can re-roll. And one place I read said that you really shouldn't re-roll the dough more than once, because it becomes tough. I haven't had any trouble with, I hate to waste any of it, and it all seems to be fine. So I'm going to put this stuff back in the fridge, and then I'll roll out some chocolate dough. The chocolate dough tends to stay firmer. I don't know why.
So you did answer Nancy Osborne's question about whether you can use a small glass instead of a cookie cutter.
Yes, you can. There was some other question that someone asked. Did I answer it when I was on the way to the oven? I don't know. All right.
Just that Denise Sheskis has called these.
Yeah, she wants your Hamentaschen, all of them.
She wants my rejects.
She'll take them. She's nodding her head.
All right. I'll save them for you. I'll bring them to class on Monday, Denise. Okay. So here's the chocolate dough. And hopefully it didn't. This may be a little softer to handle than I like, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, the unanswered question, I'm sorry, Judy's reminding us, was how long would it take to defrost in the fridge?
I'm sorry, for the
How long
dough.
will it take to defrost it in the refrigerator?
Dough.
Not
dough.
long, maybe, an hour, especially with the, the white dough. The chocolate dough takes maybe a couple of hours.
And if you're going to have dough chilled in the refrigerator, how long do you think it'll last?
Oh, three,
Couple of
4
days?
days. I lost my rolling pin. How do you lose? Oh, here.
Well, it's on the other side there.
I got it. Okay, so now what I'm excited to do with this is to try this chocolate ganache filling in here. Okay, we're just gonna have 2 chocolate ganache ones. So here's the chocolate stuff. And we're gonna, this looks kind of big for these 2-inch ones. So I'm going to divide this in 2. Let's see, yeah, I think half of one is good. So, you know, that's basically it, what I have to show you. I don't know if you want to, you know, stick around and watch me fill these ones again, but I'm not using any more jellies. I'm just going to use the prune and the cherry and the apricot. And I'm done with trying with jellies.
So Heidi's advice to Denise is that you should lay claim to one of these, the chocolate ganache.
Yeah. I think those are going to be amazing. Tirza, the chocolate ganache are for you after our pre-Shabbos conversation.
Thanks.
Hi, great grandma. We're here too.
Oh,
Hi, Grandma. Neely's here too.
Maryland.
I want to
Hi, Grandma
also.
okay, wait, I have to see if I can get everybody back on gallery view so I can see my.
will be decimated like that.
Aw.
You all like Nancy?
Where'd they go? I don't see them. Where are my grandchildren?
I saw a couple little ones.
Hadass, Hadass, you like my apron? Hadass made me the apron. All right. And there, I don't see Neely. Where's Neely?
Hi, Grandpa.
Noah, you're not on video.
I'm in a dark room.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions?
Now, Martha would like to know if you make poppy seed Hamentaschen ever.
She used to.
No, absolutely not. Yuck.
Okay, so Jay has a comment, Jay Schnitzer, that Ganache is king, and I'd like to put in a little comment if I can. I know everybody would like to buy or steal or whatever your Hamentaschen, but since you only make 2, 3, 4, or 500 a year, and they're not for sale, Jay, what I would like you to do is put your email address up in the chat room for everyone to see. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you to buy Hamentaschen, I think that would be a wonderful resource for all of us.
Sounds good. I see there's a question from Beverly. How do I make the ganache? I didn't put that recipe in because I just decided to do that at the last second. All the ganaches is melted set, like it was, I just made a small quantity to start. So it's 2 ounces of melted semi-sweet chocolate and 2 ounces of heavy cream. And you just melt it and mix it up and chill it and make it into these little balls, and it's evilly good stuff.
Did everyone see the link to Jay Schnitzer's Hamentaschen baking business?
Yeah.
Bibbs, why don't you read it off?
Abba Jay's Bakery, ABBAJaysBakery@gmail.com. I would also recommend his challah.
And his black and whites.
So Jay, do you have any special secrets that you can teach me, or they're not for sale?
Anytime you want some pointers, I'd be more than happy to share.
That'd be great. Thank you.
No,
And
this is this is a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And Sherry, you'll be hearing from me. All right.
Okay, so I guess, does that just about wrap it up?
I think so. I have some Hamentaschen here to finish up, and thanks everybody for coming. I hope you learned something. I hope you're all going to run right out and start cooking all these fillings.
Yes, prom is next Thursday.
Right.
All right, I think that Susan deserves for everybody to unmute and give her a round of applause.
Yay!
Awesome.
Good job,
Wonderful
Thank
job,
you,
Susan.
You could turn me into a baker, and that's not
Best
easy.
Hamentaschen ever. Looks good enough to eat.
I'm inspired to go out and start baking.
Yeah, I want to.
It's great fun.
Now
and
there'll
how
be
nice to
5
see your
grandchildren and
granddaughters.
3 great grandchildren.
Susan has gotten such a professional demeanor to and angling of the cameras and everything. She really, we're ready to do more with you, Susan.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to compete with Ina Garten,
You're doing it very well, by the way. Especially with the husband in the background.
Yes. And I'm always looking for new main dishes, kosher main dishes. That's really anything you can do for your next Zoom will be wonderful.
Okay.
Wait, did you just assign me something?
Oh, sure. Lynn and Helene will be glad to have you appear yet again.
Absolutely.
Well done.
Susan, you inspired me. I wasn't going to make them this year, but I might. Because
Oh,
I have a
Judy.
bag of apricots, but that's all. So maybe I make a
Wait,
half a
wait, you want
recipe.
to know about the apricots? Hold on.
But Judy, you can make ganache now also.
Well, that's true. My husband would like that better than the apricot, but I'm a purist.
I like apricot,
Okay,
but I
so
like chocolate too.
I do pay a fortune for these. These are Trina. You go to Trina.com, and these are really incredible apricots. I wonder if they look like tomatoes. I'm going to take them out and see if these also.
What makes them different, Susan? I think that's a good thing to explain to people. What makes these apricots different from the dried Turkish one?
More
But yeah,
sulfur.
what makes, must be all the sulfur dioxide. I have no idea.
It's more than that. They have, I mean, the California ones are tart. The Mediterranean or Turkish ones are much sweeter. So you don't get that really sharp tart flavor.
Thanks, Judy.
Mhm.
Thank you, Judy. And Judy, thank you for your challah lesson.
You're welcome.
Got another challah recipe I've incorporated. Grandma Evelyn's
Great.
challah, delicious.
It was delicious, yeah.
Susan, it's Nancy. It's
We
Nancy.
coming up with cocoa, Judy?
Susan, I have a very important question. Do you ever use milk chocolate?
Jonathan's groaning. Nancy and I have this ongoing problem. It has not, thank goodness, affected our friendship or our love for each other. She likes milk chocolate. What can I say?
So do I.
First,
So do I.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa, you can argue all you want. Nancy and I like the milk chocolate.
Who
I
said
like it
that?
too,
Lisa?
Arlene.
Dear. All right.
Thank you. This has been great.
Thank you. I'm
Okay.
going.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Well,
Thank you, Susan.
see you all soon.
You. This was so fun.
Susan, just leave the scraps outside. I'll come by later tonight.
I'll see you later then.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
you.
Thank you
Bye.
for, coordinating everything and all the hard work you guys do. It's been,
Thank you.
you put really great programs together, and I think people have a lot of fun. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all
Thank
need
you,
to-
Susan.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.